Make me call the police for me.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Call 911. There's an ambulance out here. I'm thinking stab you if you don't call 911.
Because of the high instances of crime, police make a lot of visits to gas stations. In February of 2024 in Pear Blossom, California, one officer arrived to find more than he bargained for. The footage starts with a man walking up to a clerk and telling her to call 911. When she asks why, he says he's going to stab her, producing a precision pick.
Make me call the police for me.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Call 911. There's an ambulance out here. I'm thinking stab you if you don't call 911. Yeah, I'm fixing to stab you in the fucking neck.
She makes the call, and the man waits patiently.
I'll be outside for you, okay? Sorry, this guy is in front of me. I think he's gonna stab me in the neck.
Several moments later, the police show up, but the man simply walks away from them.
Like possibly a screwdriver or a knife walking away from us.
The man then walks towards the officers, continuing to come closer even after multiple warnings that he will be shot.
Don't come any closer, man. Don't come any closer, man. Drop it. Drop it. Don't come any closer.
Look at me. Look at me.
Don't come any closer, man. If you keep coming closer, I'm gonna have to shoot you, man. Don't make me do this. Please.
Please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Don't.
Stop, man. Don't come closer. I'm gonna shoot you. Don't come closer, man.
At that moment, the officers open fire.
Please drop it, man. Don't make me shoot you. Hey, man, come over here. No, we're not gonna shoot you, man. Come over here. Come over here, man. No, come over here. Hey, sir, walk away. Walk away. Come over here. Drop whatever's in your hand. Drop whatever's in your hand, man. Don't do this, please. Please don't do this, man. Drop whatever's in your hand. Drop whatever's in your hand. I don't want to do this, man. If you come close to me, I'm going to shoot you. If you come close to me, I'm going to shoot you. Don't do this. If you come close to me, I'm going to shoot you, man. Don't do this. Please, man, don't do this.
Look at me, man. I just got here. Talk to me. What's going on, man? Explain to me.
If you come close to us, man, we're going to shoot you. I don't want to shoot you. No. No, drop whatever's in your hand, man. I don't want to.
Just talk to me. What's going on, man? Talk to me. I just got here. Explain to me what's going on. Let's talk about it.
No, hey, please don't come close and please take out whatever's in your hand. Please. I don't want to shoot you, man. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to me. It's not worth it to me. And it's not worth it to you. So drop whatever's in your hand and come talk to me, man. No, I don't want to. I'm telling you, please, just drop whatever's in your hand, but don't come any closer because I am going to have to shoot you. It's not worth it, man. Please don't make me do this. Please, don't make me do this, please. Don't come any closer, man. Don't come any closer, man. Drop it. Drop it. Don't come any closer.
Look at me. Look at me.
Don't come any closer, man. If you keep coming closer, I'm going to have to shoot you, man. Don't make me do this. Please.
Please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Don't.
Stop, man. Don't come closer. I'm going to shoot you. Don't come closer, man. I'm in fear for my life, man. I don't want to get hurt. Please drop it, man. Don't make me shoot you. Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
Though the suspect was transported to the hospital, he was later pronounced dead. Nicholas Diego Lenos, better known as Little Xan or simply Diego, is an American rapper from California. This footage shows him getting into an altercation with someone at a gas station, after which he promptly pulls a gun out and starts waving it around while shouting profanities.
Yo, bro.
Look at this little Shelby.
Bro.
Do something.
What the you want, bro?
Hey, homie.
Get the out. Get out, nigga.
God, this motherfucker pulling.
Get out.
Look at little Zan pulling a gun right now. Look at little.
Get out.
Hey, look at this guy pulling the gun right now.
This is particularly disturbing as the fact that Lil Xan isn't driving likely indicates he's under the influence of something.
Look at this motherfucker. Hey, pull it out again. Hey, you a
After all, his rapper name is clearly a reference to Xanax.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
Hey, look at my car. Look at my car.
Yeah. Look at your car, you little.
It's a good thing nobody was hurt in this exchange. Mexico is a dangerous place, especially if you're not on your guard. This terrifying footage from Sonora shows two women being kidnapped in broad daylight. While filling up their tanks, heavily armed men simply walk up to the car and drag them out, placing them into a nearby truck. The gas station is crowded, but nobody makes a move to help. This is probably because they know Sonora is a drug cartel country, and those are not the sorts of enemies you want to make. So-called swarm robberies are a big problem around the world. However, it's hard to stop them since there are just so many people involved at once. This footage from Brazil shows such a robbery. In the middle of the night, a group of people on motorcycles pulls up. There are dozens of riders, and they demand free fuel from the clerk. Wisely, he decided to open the pumps, allowing the gang to fill their bikes. At some point, the clerk slips inside and locks himself in, turning off the electricity to the entire station. Clearly angry, the motorcyclists drive off, saving the station thousands in wasted gas. In a terrifying attack, A man walked into a gas station convenience store in North Carolina with a crowbar and began destroying virtually everything in sight. Both clerks and customers rush to get out of the way, but the man simply keeps pounding away. His motivation apparently stemmed from the fact that the store was owned by Asian Americans. Unfortunately, this has become a regular occurrence across much of the world since the pandemic. People don't generally like to get honked at, but the situation doesn't always have to escalate to road rage. Unfortunately, that's what happened in this situation when a Thai man who had been honked at stormed out of his car holding a gun. At this point, the man who had been honking was already starting to fill up his tank. However, it turns out the honker is an undercover police officer who has a gun of his own. As the assailant attempts to drive away, the officer shoots his tire. Not that it mattered much, as he was driving directly into bumper-to-bumper traffic. Some nations have strict gun laws that keep incidents like the one in the last video from happening. However, that doesn't mean people can't still do damage. This deranged young woman just walked into a convenience store in an attempt to rob it with a knife. She must not be very convincing, however, because the clerk simply grabs the weapon and pushes her away. Nevertheless, she persists, leading to a struggle over the weapon. The clerk is injured, and for some reason, the woman decides to help him, offering paper towels to stop the bleeding. Before long, the police show up to take her down. Still, it must have been a terrifying and bizarre ordeal. We've already seen how things can quickly get out of hand south of the border. But this footage is even creepier. It shows drug cartel hitmen, known as Sicaros, filling up their trucks and jeeps while heavily armed.
Puros pelones, viejones. Me acabó acá la verga.
Judging by the looks of things, they're on their way to pull off a hit. The internet is where bad ideas and bad intentions meet. In this case, a group of young people invaded a convenience store, apparently on an Instagram-inspired dare. They then proceed to trash the store while acting out for the camera.
The hood slurping,
The crazy thing is that the store employees managed to take photos of the car's license plates in the parking lot, which allows the cops to find the people who did it, get them to pay for the goods they damaged, and to clean up the store. No arrests were made, but some lessons were definitely learned.
Get right, no race track. Race track.
Over in Australia, 3 men with machetes terrorized a service station attendant with machetes. Footage shows the men slamming on the convenience store door, attempting to break it down.
I was just scared and I just entered the counter room and the counter door was locked.
After several minutes, they managed to get in, where they demand that the man give them the money from the till. However, they then begin smashing at a security door, which the attendant opens to avoid angering them further.
Like they were young and they were Africans.
However, outside, a bystander notices what's going on and grabs a hammer, chasing the men behind the shop and even helping the clerk pick up afterwards.
He was a nice guy and he tried to save me.
Despite what people say, racism is making a big comeback, especially in the USA.
My parents were born here. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. You're a
You're on camera.
I don't give a what I'm on.
Apparently not. Yeah.
This footage shows a man calling a gas station clerk the N-word before leaving the store. The woman who had been filming him then continues to do so, only to have the man pull up in his truck and confront her. He then proceeds to hurl insults at her and then threatens to hit her car.
Dude. Get away from me. Okay.
Ugly you are, you four-eyed sick bitch. Stinking dirty.
Okay.
Oh, that's so funny. Tell all your friends how stinking you are.
Okay.
Tell your friends.
Okay. Alright.
Hey, let's just smash the back of your car.
Dude? Get the f*** away from me.
Fortunately, she got it all on tape. So let's hope his employer sees it. It's pretty stupid to shout offensive things at strangers. But it's nowhere near as stupid as using a lighter while pumping gas. That's what happens in this video, when a man, for some reason, decides to flick his lighter near the pump of his friend's car. The expected happens, and the man frantically tries to put out the flame despite there being a constant stream of fuel to keep it going. He then gets in his car and speeds off with flames still flowing from his gas tank. Worst of all, he left the gas pump spewing fire all over the gas station. In what has to be one of the most bizarre instances of public urination ever caught on tape, this woman decides to empty her full catheter bag by slamming it over her shoulder in front of a gas station convenience store entrance.
Okay then.
We can only hope that whatever illness she has also infected her mind, because this is both stupid and disgusting. The Sinaloa cartel is one of the scariest organizations in Mexico, so they often get the chance to act however they want. In this footage, you can see cartel members pulling into a drive-thru convenience store and simply taking all of the cigarettes and vapes they can carry. Cartels generally don't mess with the public too much, as they need their support. However, this shows that they don't even need to have weapons to be scary. It seems that the lady who busted her pee bag has some competition. And given the fact that this woman looks much younger, there's no excuse for her to be behaving this way. While pumping gas, a girl gets out of the back seat, drops her pants, and simply begins peeing right there in front of the pump. People are even walking by as she does it. The person pumping the gas even talks to her, seemingly completely unaffected by the disgusting display. Then she simply gets in the car and they drive away.
What you doing?
I'm sorry, dude. I gotta get some gas. I'm sorry, brother, man. I just ran out of gas, so I was gonna get enough to go to the gas station.
People often behave bizarrely when they're caught doing something they shouldn't be. In this case, a man is caught red-handed attempting to siphon gas from another man's truck. After being confronted, he simply says he needs gas to get to the next station and calmly apologizes.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm serious. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I saw you come open my shit,
So I laid down.
Yeah.
I watched you walk past, check it out, and I knew you were gonna do that,
I'm
bro.
sorry, brother, man. No, seriously.
This is your truck right here?
Yeah, I was just gonna. Dude, I'm sorry, brother.
Nah, it ain't no I'm sorry, bro.
The man with the camera does not accept this apology, however, and decides to film the man's license plate for documentation before calling the authorities. Some countries lack improper safety infrastructure, which can pose hazards during even routine events. A perfect example happened in Nigeria in 2022, when an entire bus caught fire while filling up at a local petrol station. Footage shows people rushing to get out of the bus, jumping out windows and prying open doors as the cabin fills with smoke. Fortunately, most people stayed on hand to help rather than running away, which is why nobody was hurt in the end. A credit card skimmer is a small, illicit device designed to steal credit card information. These devices are often secretly attached to legitimate card readers, such as those on ATMs, gas station pumps, or point-of-sale terminals. This footage shows one savvy customer finding a skimmer at their local gas station mini-mart. To add insult to injury, he simply walks out with it while the gas station attendant threatens him.
Just did it again. That's crazy. I'm not gonna pay card. That's crazy, man.
That's actually insane.
No, I'm gonna take it. Thanks though.
Can't do that.
What's the crime? Stealing his ability to steal? Let's hope authorities were called ASAP. Back in the US, a Seattle gas station is about to be broken into in a very unique way. Footage from the surveillance camera shows men using a U-Haul and a rope to pry open the door to a convenience store. The U-Haul also helps provide cover for the men as they take items out. The only problem is that the men seem to be trying to take entire display cases of chips and other low-dollar items. This wastes a lot of time before they go in to ransack the register and steal cigarettes and other items.
I was on the 911 call. I told him, this is the U-Haul guy. He's cutting the door. He's still outside. And I explained every single thing what he was doing at that time.
It turns out the owner of the store was watching online the entire time and was on the phone with the police, who never showed up.
To me, police is not doing their own job. You know, I was really frustrated that time, and I told the police officer, I mean, you guys need to step up. Otherwise, we feel very unsafe. My employees feel unsafe. We live in Shoreline for 35 years, city of Shoreline. We have never seen these kind of problems, what we're seeing for last year or over a year. My wife feel unsafe. We don't let our kids come outside because we just feel unsafe.
ओ गैस निकल रही भाई साजिद इधर आया ओ गैस बड़ी खतरनाक.
Now for a trip over to India, where an accident caused a gas station tanker full of petrol to roll over, spilling gasoline and fumes all over the street. As a mob of people stands by watching, the petrol ignites, sending plumes of fire and smoke into the sky.
वो आग लग गई दौड़ जाओ आग लग गई ओए दौड़ जाओ मोटरसाइकिल वाला विच वड़ गई होवे.
Before long, the entire street is a raging inferno, and there's no way to stop it due to the constant source of fuel.
ओए पेट्रोल पंप सड़ गई साजिद निकल यार निकल.
Fortunately for them, but not for those of us watching, the cameraman finally decides he's had enough and gets the hell out of there. Fire is always dangerous, but in the right conditions, water can be just as deadly. In this short but immensely cruel video, a Louisiana convenience store clerk can be seen throwing a bucket of water at a homeless woman despite the weather being extremely cold. Without shelter, the woman could easily have developed hypothermia or some other dangerous condition. Fortunately, thanks to this tape, the clerk was later found and charged. Gas station convenience stores are open late and usually manned by a single clerk. This is a big reason why they're so often targeted by thieves. However, this instance saw those thieves think twice very quickly. In fact, the footage seems to indicate that the moment they saw the size of the clerk, they gave up. One of the robbers, who appeared to just be kids, was already halfway over the counter when the clerk grabbed his bat and sent them all running for their lives.
Can you imagine a man and a woman who are married? And the man...
He's trying to, but she's harassing him.
The woman is in love with him. The guy murders himself and he gets 72 fucking virgins. What does she get out of it? Well, I don't know. Get out of it. Huh? Does she get 72 fucking...
Some people simply can't resist causing trouble, and this woman appears to be one of them. She's literally walking around the gas station store saying insane, profane things to complete strangers. She first targets a Muslim man, who she continually harasses about terrorism while making explicit sexual comments.
Because what is the woman out? The woman that you married, and if you marry her, and you love her, and you're gonna fucking murder her, you get out of my face. Get the
Stop harassing people.
Get from me.
You're following you. You're following me.
She then moves on to several other customers who become worried about her mental health.
How'd you even end up here? How'd your drunk ass end up here? How'd your drunk ass end up here?
Shut the
Crack or do you know what date is? A month?
Listen,
on their way.
I know
I can't do
exactly
nothing.
where I am, okay? And I know exactly who created you. Get your hand off me, motherfucker! You touch me again, motherfucker!
She's not gonna follow us.
See what happens to you. I dare you to touch me one more time!
Charles?
Keep your hands off me.
Charles, come over here.
Don't do it.
Come over here. She is not worth anything.
She is told to leave several times, yet she refuses to do so. After what seems like an eternity, the cops finally show up and take her away.
Push me, mother. Do you know what's gonna happen to you unless you repent and ask Jesus Christ to forgive
Maybe
you
you
for
should
your
ask
sins?
Jesus Christ.
Do you have any
Maybe you should ask
idea
all
what
the
you
gods.
just did?
You're acting.
Drifting is a driving technique where the driver intentionally oversteers, causing a loss of traction in the rear wheels. While it looks pretty amazing, there are places where it is appropriate and places where it is not. This is an example of the latter. As you can see, a driver is attempting to drift their way around a gas station, weaving through the spaces while onlookers watch. On the final approach, however, he hits the pump, knocking it over and causing the fuel to instantly ignite. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. By now, we all know that smoking is bad for your health. However, this proves the concept in a completely different way. In this video, a man is filling up his car when he decides now would be the perfect time for a cigarette. As he strikes his lighter, the fumes from the gas tank ignite, sending him running. He soon decides to come back and attend to his car, but pulling the pump handle out only sprays more fire around the area. Frantically, he tries to drive away as fire spews from his gas tank. Fortunately, he returns and at least attempts to put out the fire he caused. In some parts of the US, gas stations are as much places to hang out and talk as they are places to fill up your car. Of course, people don't always get along. In this footage, you can see a woman getting into her car after being addressed by a small group of people. After backing up, however, she decides to hit the gas, just barely missing the two men and hitting a nearby car. From the second camera, it's clear that she just speeds off, but it looks like the men may go after her. Let's hope they just call the cops instead of doling out their own justice. The surveillance video starts out innocently enough. The man pulls into a gas station to pump gas and more or less goes about his business. However, out of nowhere, two cars pull in and several armed police officers jump out. They hold the man at gunpoint while they order him to the ground. Just as they do, yet another police car pulls up. The officer immediately arrests the men and starts searching the vehicle. For long, they pull out several bags of what appears to be drugs. Someone must have tipped them off big time. As time has gone on, gas stations have broadened their horizons and begun to include new attractions to generate customers. One examples are the video slots you now see at convenience stores around the US. Yet this video proves that those slots might actually be more trouble than they're worth. The footage shows a man tampering with the front of the machine in an attempt to access the cash inside. As he stuffs the money into his jacket, he's completely unaware that he's on film. Considering he's just a few feet away from another player shows how bold robbers can be. According to the report, the thief made off with $7,900. We've already seen what happens when gasoline is left to pour out uncontrolled. It often takes just a few seconds before the entire puddle goes up in flames. That's the risk this gasoline delivery driver took when he accidentally forgot to put the brakes on the truck. As it starts to roll away, it pulls the hose out of the underground tank and spills dozens of gallons of gas all over the street and gas station concrete. It's a good thing nobody nearby was smoking this time. Boys love their toys, but in this case, it seems like they might end up losing them for good. This footage shows a group of men on dirt bikes and four-wheelers attempting to intimidate a man in a red jacket who is apparently being protected by the police.
Isso aqui é Califórnia.
At one point, the man on the four-wheeler simply runs over the guy, knocking him against a metal pole.
Matou o cara, olha. Atropelou o cara.
The police attempt to intervene, but there's simply not much they can do while on foot. Fortunately, another cop is in hot pursuit. Thieves stealing from ATMs has been a problem for gas stations and banks ever since the devices were first invented. However, it's rare that you see a theft of the cash machine itself. This footage from Chicago shows a group of men brazenly walking into a convenience store and violently shaking the ATM until it falls to the ground. Once it does, a third person holds the door while the men wrestle it free and drag it to the back seat of their waiting car. The incident happened in the middle of the night, but took less than 2 minutes to pull off. I don't know what it is about Indian gas stations and fire, but there sure seems to be a connection between the two. This footage shows a man having his motorcycle refilled when suddenly a fire breaks out right in front of his face. As is typically the case, the attendant and the man both panic, pulling the hose from the gas tank and spewing flames around like an angry dragon. Luckily, a quick-thinking coworker grabs a nearby fire extinguisher and manages to put out the blaze. On a lighter note, this video taught us that gas stations in India are called petrol bunks. This cell phone footage from New Mexico shows a gas station that has been entirely demolished by a car accident. It appears that the truck barely missed a large propane tank on the property, which would have been extremely tragic.
So that narrowly missed that.
I know. Just the explosion and the fire and dust and the parts that came out the window. Because I was standing at the kitchen window.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to come through the window.
You okay? Yeah, do you happen to have
However, the gas station has been utterly destroyed by the incident, which appears to have just happened. Hopefully, the authorities arrive soon to help sort out the situation and pick up the debris. Some of these gas station fires are funny, but this one's downright terrifying. It is second-hand surveillance footage of two people on a motorcycle attempting to pull away from the pump with the handle still in their tank. At first, it simply seems like it's going to restrain the two riders, but after a minute, a huge fireball erupts, engulfing the driver. Both men literally run for their lives, one of them trailing fire behind them. No telling how this one ended, but from the looks of things, that gas station is toast. The reason why we're seeing so many fires start at gas stations is that when gasoline evaporates, it releases volatile flammable compounds into the air. This footage shows a cloud of those compounds leading from a gas station in Mexico. Because of the sheer quantity of flammable chemicals in the air, it only takes a few minutes before the inevitable happens. There's no sprinkler system that can fix a problem like this, so let's hope the fire department arrives sooner rather than later. In a rare instance of crime caught on camera, a man in California had himself a real Grand Theft Auto moment when a newscopter catches him attempting to break into a pickup truck. The suspect, who was already being pursued by the police, then gets back in his original vehicle and speeds off before finally finding an open van. After ramming a police car, the suspect leads the police on an insane chase with one flat rear tire smoking and sparking. After finding himself stuck again, the suspect jumps out of the car and continues to run. This time, he enters a home where he demands the keys from the homeowner and steals their truck, making this vehicle number 3 in a single pursuit. After several more minutes of evading the police, the suspect finds his vehicle disabled yet again, this time the front driver's seat side tire. Finally, the suspect crashes into a gas pump just as the police let loose with a barrage of bullets. Amazingly, the suspect survives, but it's going to be a long time before he sees the outdoors again. Here's another epic instance of a suspect running from the police. Keep your eye on the white car. The suspect exits the vehicle and strolls into the store, where he appears to be waiting patiently in the corner.
All right, baby. See you later. All right.
Outside, a police vehicle pulls up and an officer appears out of nowhere to attempt to tackle the man. Clearly, we're only seeing the middle of a story that has already been playing out. The first suspect breaks free, while another person who is still in the car speeds off. Footage from multiple gas stations and other businesses catch the first man as he escapes on foot, with cruisers in hot pursuit. Drug smuggling isn't just a Mexico problem. It occurs all over the world. In some cases, criminals come up with some pretty ingenious and pretty dumb ways to move their contraband. In this instance, a smuggler has loaded 20 kilograms of cocaine onto a CNG tank in their car. When attempting to recharge it at a gas station, this happens. The blaze instantly totals the vehicle. To make matters worse, the cocaine was easily recognizable in the remnants. So much for that smuggling scheme. This footage from a gas station in Boston shows just how little it takes for a normal everyday situation to turn deadly. The video shows a white SUV accidentally backing into a parked pickup truck. Its hazards immediately start flashing, scaring the driver. In what seems to be an attempt to escape the hit and run, the person speeds away, smashing through 2 of the gas pumps. The car then heads 2 more vehicles on the other side of the parking lot while the gas station owner rushes to extinguish the flames.
I feel like I was stupid. I should have maybe ran away. I don't know. You know what I mean? That wouldn't be a safe thing to do, but I thought if I could put it out quickly, I could avoid an explosion.
Fortunately, the station's fire suppression system triggers, putting the fire out. Apparently, the driver, who ran from the scene on foot, had been trying to put air into the tires and had accidentally put the car in drive, not park.
I'd like her to take a drug test, to be honest. You know what I mean? Honestly, I mean, she could have killed somebody.
If you're starting to think that the problem is gasoline, think again. Cars powered by alternative fuels are by no means safe from unexpected explosions. Take this footage from Pyeongchang, South Korea. It shows a massive fire at a liquefied petroleum gas charging station where vehicles that run on LPG can refuel their tanks. LPG is commonly used as a fuel in vehicles such as cars, buses, and trucks because it burns cleaner than gasoline or diesel and produces fewer harmful emissions. However, as you can clearly see, leaks can result in massive explosions.
What's your emergency?
There's a guy over here with a knife trying to stab me from the window.
Okay, where are you?
I'm here in Midtown Chevron.
Okay, and what's the phone number in case it disconnects? Okay, never mind. Where is he with the knife?
He's outside, trying to come in.
Is the door locked?
Yeah, it's locked.
This terrifying gas station incident starts with a 911 call where a Salt Lake City clerk reports a man with a knife trying to stab him through the window. Footage from the incident shows the police arriving at the gas station to engage the man, who calmly walks away while still holding the knife. The officers repeatedly demand that he drop his weapon, but he refuses to comply.
Get on the ground! Stop, please!
Right now!
Do not!
No! Get on the ground!
Get on the ground! Please don't make us do this! Please! Please put the knife down!
We will shoot you! Get on the ground!
Stop! Get on the ground!
As they warn the man that they will shoot him, he simply yells, "I don't care," and continues his approach. This leaves the officers with no choice but to open fire.
Get on the floor!
Stop walking towards us!
You will get shot!
He was eventually hit more than 20 times. While the police were certainly right during that altercation, the same can't be said of this incident. Footage shows an officer pulling over a high school student for speeding. She complies with the officer and pulls into a nearby gas station. However, for some reason, the situation escalates very quickly, with the officer violently ripping the young girl out of the car and throwing her to the ground.
I'm not asking you any questions right now. What I am going to tell you is you were pulled over for your speed and your headlight, okay? Your speed was 37 and then 30, not that big of a deal, and your headlight was out on your driver's side. Pulling you over to let you know. If you would have just given me your license and your registration like I asked you to do, you would have gone away for warning tonight, okay? But however, since you decided to pull this right here, where you don't want to comply, you don't want to give me your ID, and you think you're going to run the scene, you're now going to jail. Do you understand? You were not. How many times did I ask you? You were not. I've got a body cam on. It will show you not pulling your ID out.
Body cam footage shows the man telling the young lady that she could have given him her ID. However, her ID can clearly be seen in the earlier footage. Unfortunately, the officer's body cam was not active during the conversation, so there's simply no way to know. He was later fired over the incident. This violent shooting at a Miami gas station is one of the most disturbing events that we've seen yet. The footage shows a man getting into an argument with two of the gas station workers. He then heads towards the door before pulling out a gun and shooting both men and a third bystander. Apparently, the two workers had accused the man of shoplifting, and he had decided to respond with violence. Fortunately, the surveillance footage showed the suspect wearing lettering from a local gym, which allowed cops to find him and arrest him the next day. Here's yet another gas station fire, but this time, it's very difficult to find out the source. A man on a motorcycle pulls up to the pump, but before he even gets off the bike, it erupts into flames. Fortunately, he is smart enough to turn the bike off before running away, which likely helped keep the fire from spreading. It's been a while since we've seen an old-fashioned convenience store robbery, but this footage from Nashville will not disappoint. It shows a man violently breaking through a window to a closed convenience store and making off with a plastic container full of thousands of dollars in lottery tickets. Apparently, 6 men from Massachusetts had been doing the same thing at several convenience stores in the area, stealing more than $50,000 in lotto tickets altogether. Apparently, none of them were winners.